Ye old maple leaf mix-up.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome everyone to episode 287 of Born to be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun, hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It is great to be back on this fantastic Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by fellow hosts, Hydralisk.
Yo.
And Schmoopydady.
Mr. Gorbachev, please fill in this catchphrase.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs, and the video version of this podcast is posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However you are watching, listening, or observing via osmosis this podcast today, I thank you. Yes, you.
Content plug. Schmoopydady. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime, finally. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about wild Hearthstone. Links to all of this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how's your week?
Mostly good. Mostly great. Except for the news we're going to get to. Because last week I was in New Orleans and that was a blast. So my wife was at a conference in New Orleans and I got to, tag along. We didn't have to pay for a second room. Did have to pay for like airfare for me, obviously, and stuff like that. But like cheap New Orleans trip. Okay. We take those. And it was such a blast. While she was at the conference, I watched a couple of movies. I walked around the French Quarter, went to a couple of shops and stuff like that. It was fun. And then in the evenings, we went on like ghost tours and haunted history is what it's officially called. But, it's going around and seeing like things. It's, there's the folklore element and the history element and what's true, what's not. And could it all be true? It could. Is any of it? Obviously the history part is, but so it's always really interesting to hear different people's takes on those too. Because I've been to New Orleans before. It's a blast. We love it there. One of the reasons why I was like, oh yeah, I'll just go and tag along on the conference, because it's not like it's like, oh my gosh, the city that I've never seen before and I'm gonna get lost. Like I know what Jackson Square is. Like I know how to walk back to the hotel at this point and things like that. So
Cool.
It was a blast.
Nice.
So kickin' rad.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Because when Mrs. Hydra and I went on our last trip over to Victoria, British Columbia, they have a thing that is like a haunted Victoria, like
Cool.
tour where you can go to all the places and stuff. And I remember asking on the last day if they had something like that, and my wife's like, yes, they do. And I'm like, next time. Like, that sounds, I don't know, I'm into like X-Files and stuff. I'm not into like too crazy of things, but like it just sounds kind of cool to go into like scary places and stuff. It's kind of fun.
If you ever visit here, we need to go to the Stanley Hotel, the hotel that Stephen King stayed at that inspired The Shining. They're completely redoing it for like, not redoing it, but like updating a certain part of it for Sundance, which is coming to Boulder like this year, next year, but for like 2 or 3 years. And it's just going to be so cool. So,
Cool.
And I've been on the tour through the Stanley too. Like, it's a good tour.
Sidewinder.
Missed opportunity. I didn't think to bring one. When you visit, we will.
Nice. Sweet. That sounds cool. I'm glad you had fun on your vacation. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. In the world of Hearthstone, I think I had already hit Legend in both formats on NA the last time I was here. Guess what? I've done that thing on EU as well. So, yeah. I think I may have already done it on EU before the last time I was on here even. In Wild, not Standard. I know that one was more recent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You mentioned one of them. I can't remember which it was.
That would make sense.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
Indeed.
But I've also been grieving some bad Hearthstone news this week, but we'll get to that properly in the news, because I think we have a really fun way that we're going to talk about that. I'm really excited about this. So, Hydralisk, how was your week, my friend?
My week has been, I'm going to say, okay, question mark. I was going to say one thing is, I was going to ask you how far you got on X-Files, because I'm about to hit season 4 now. Have you been watching, or did you stall out a bit? I stalled out a bit.
I had paused whenever we went, so I haven't picked back up since we've been back. I need to pick back up. Thank you for the reminder.
Okay, yeah, just asking, because I'm right about to take over to season 4, and it's getting real good. I mentioned last week that I was over halfway done the book that I was doing. That's the 12. It's the second book in the Passage series, and now there's like 2 hours left in the audiobook. I was planning on finishing it today, but I had a meeting at work that literally took like all afternoon, and I know. I was like, this was good book listening time.
It's like, how far into the meeting were you like, oh shucks, I'm not gonna finish my audiobook? Like, how far in were you like,
I really want to know what King did with this one.
It was literally after I finished the food they provided. So like we all had pasta. We got to order from some Italian place, and I had penne alla some word that starts with F. Forno.
Fromage.
No, just Forno. It's just Forno. It says Forno. Penne. You know what? Some Italian guy out there, you can tell me what I ate. It had like chorizo in it. It had like bacon in it. And it was penne, so penne noodles. It had like mozzarella and like a red sauce. Anyways, it was good. And I had garlic bread, and it was good. But when I was finished eating that, I was like, oh man, I just realized I could be listening to my book right now. and so I go on my walks, right? And so I miss my lunch walk, and I miss like the quote unquote like afternoon break walk too. So I missed like a good 45 minutes of listening to my book because I was in a work meeting. And it's funny because work is important, but I was more upset about not listening to my book. So that's how professional I am, guys. Just kidding. That's the difference
Seems
between like
work.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, that bothered me a little bit because I was planning on being done by now. But I actually walked to work like most of this week, and it was kind of nice. I was getting between hi Ray, that's me. Like So I walk on my breaks, and I was walking to work and back, and I was getting between 18,000 and 25,000 steps a day by doing that this week, which was like pretty. The day that I got 25,000 was because I also mowed the lawn at the end of the day. So like it added another like 7,000 steps by mowing the lawn, which who knew that you just walk back and forth that much to add another 7,000 steps. But pretty cool. The only problem with walking home is I walk up like a really big hill. And so like my glutes, I can feel it in my glutes, but it's like a good workout. So
is it a steep hill or is it just a long hill? Because for me, I could do steep. It's long and consistent and forever. That's insidious to me.
Or
so there's
yes.
options. There's options. So you can. There is literally a road. There's literally a road that goes up it like this, and you could. And it doesn't have a sidewalk either, which is ridiculous. So like you're just walking on the side of the road, and it's going at like probably like a 40 high 30s to 40-degree angle, like up this hill, and you could walk like on the side. You just got to keep looking behind you, especially if you're listening to a book. You don't want to, get.
You don't want to get
hit by a car or anything. And or you could do this thing where there's these like gravel lanes that kind of like traverse the way up, like behind houses and stuff. And so I kind of opt for those, which you, according to what your desires are, you wouldn't do that. You just go up like the steep one. That's what I used to do, but my wife has changed me where I'm like, I'll take the long way where I can kind of like zigzag the way up. Plus I get to listen to the book longer, So
yeah, I just find those more draining.
If I was not listening to a book, I would just do the like straight up the hill, which is what I used to do. But because there's a store at the bottom of the hill that I used to go to, like if I wanted, like, I don't know, like an energy drink or a bag of chips or something, I just go straight down and straight back up. But this way, it's kind of like a little leisurely. On the way there, it's just like a full, like, I'm going down the hill and you're taking these big steps because you're like, boom, like you're on the moon going down the hill, just kind of like floating down. Like your stride is like 1.5 meters. It's great. If you're American, sorry if you don't know 1.5 meters. Something like five feet or so. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say, which I thought this was kind of funny, was I got mad at HS Replay because it was trying to sell me the premium package, even though I've purchased the premium package since the premium patches, a package of HS Replay has existed, right? Because it shows your matchups and all that stuff, especially if you play standard. You get that stuff. And when I first bought this, I was playing a lot more standard. And you know how recently, instead of just the percentage of, keep and throw away, used to be there, now they got that cool little bar graph. I don't know why, but I find it cosmetically pleasing. Like it's not just a number, but it's like green high, red low for some reason. And they must be doing it for a reason. Maybe other people find it cosmetically pleasing. Anyways, it disappeared for me and it wasn't there anymore. I had it for like a couple weeks and then it went away. And it's like, you need to buy premium. And I'm like, dang it, HS Replay. I've been paying for premium for like, I don't know, 8 years or something, like 7 years. I have no idea how long I've been paying for it. Since you could, let's put it that way. And it was gone, and they're trying to advertise it to me, and I do not understand. And so I'm asking AI and like all this stuff, like, why is this website trying to charge me? And AI's like, have you checked your valid payment method? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So I go and I look, and apparently my visa had expired, and the April payment didn't go through because my credit card had expired, and I got a new one in the mail that I didn't activate yet and update the information. But I spent this whole time being like angry that I was gonna like write some hate mail to HS Replay, like, why are you trying to sell me something I'm already paying for and taking away something I already had? What are you guys doing? Meanwhile, it was just like a me problem.
It's like, no, you didn't give us money.
Yeah, you just literally didn't give me the $5 a month. that was it. So, Hydra dumb, HS Replay smart.
I agree with half of that. I don't agree with Hydra's dumb. I do agree with HS Replay smart, though.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you for the support.
I think Hydra's been playing Wild too long. I think we're just seeing the after effects.
Yeah, it also happened to be on Amazon too. I like bought some headphones and it was like payment rejected. I'm like, I have lots of money. What is happening?
Conspire against me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, just look at the stupid expiry date on your credit card and use your noggin. Anyway, enough about me. Schmoopydady, how was your week?
Sure. So this was the first week of rec soccer starting. The way that my league does it is they have like a division coordinator, like basically a coach that's overseeing the entire division for a certain age group. They're basically running practice, and then you're like in the middle, and then there's grids on either side, and each team is in its own grid. I have 4 teams, so there's 4 grids surrounding me. And I'm running the practice, and then the coaches are supposed to be sort of herding the cats and making sure that the kids are doing the thing that I just told them that they should be doing. And that's going pretty well. We had one on Tuesday and one on Thursday, and it's fun because Shimbi Mommy is volunteering to coach my daughter because my daughter's younger than my son by a whole division. So they'll never be in the same division at the same time. So I can't coordinate 2 divisions because I'd be herding twice as many cats. But I can certainly train 1 division at a time. So I'm training my son's division, but my daughter's starting to play and my wife's getting involved. And I know it's just been fun. It's another thing that we are kind of all like doing as a family and kind of all in on doing as a family, which is has been fun, has been good, but was tiring. Like
That's
come
nice.
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday I didn't like yesterday I didn't stream because I was yelling so much at practice because like the 7 and 8-year-olds I'm coaching are all trying to kill each other at once. In this like we're playing
amazing.
Steal the Bacon. You know, like you put like a row of balls in the middle of the field. I'm like, all right, guys, and it's like 4 separate games of Steal the Bacon. Right? And so it's like, okay, 3, 2, what, and like before you say 1, like there's kids taking off, and so then you gotta be like, no, reset. Come on now, guys. Come on. 3, 2, 1, go. And then you basically watching like 4 separate fist fights all like break out at once. So we had to talk about being safe and not using our hands on each other. And it's like maybe we never play Steal the Bacon again. I don't know. But like I was like so there's a playground that's literally right next to the field, and every kid that got off practice all went over to the playground. So I'm there on the playground and I have like my coach's whistle and I'm like, do you guys want me to use this here? Because like we all gotta go home, and like parents are nodding their head. And so I'm doing like tweet, my spawn, time to go home. Everyone else, find your parents. Like I'm like still coaching. It's like 15 minutes after practice. I'm still coaching. So that it's been fun though. It's been fun getting you back into the swing of that. Thursday was here in the US National Bring Your Spawn to Work Day. So
yeah, we do those too.
Since my wife and I, or maybe it's international, maybe it's everywhere. Who freaking knows?
So in Canada, you have to be in grade 9. That's the only year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm being a delinquent then by Canadian standards because my son's in 2nd grade and my daughter's in preschool. So yeah. So what we did was, since my wife's in the same building, we split them. I got daughter in the morning shift for periods 1 through 4.
Are you sure they're yours?
And
sorry, biblical joke.
Oh yes, I'm pretty sure. And then I get it. I understood that reference. And then my wife got my son in the morning and got and then we swapped in the afternoon. The reason why I picked my daughter as first shift was if I ever gave if my daughter started with my wife, she would be stapled to her the entire time. She would never leave. And ultimately, my son would be like, "Dad, I want to spend time with mom." And then my wife would have both kids. And then it would no longer be take your child to work day. It would be stop your child from fighting your other child while at work day, which is not quite as exciting. So we started with daughter with me because she likes deli foods almost as much as I do. My son could like care less, like the prosciutto, the sopressat, mortadella. He could care less. He thinks it's weird, it tastes funny, it's a texture thing, whatever. My daughter is like, yes, please, more of that. Please.
She gets it.
She gets it. So she got a prosciutto and mozzarella sandwich, and like she wasn't sure because my wife's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get Chinese. Schmoopy wants Chinese. Does daughter want Chinese?" I'm like, "Daughter, you want Chinese?" She's like, "Yes, Chinese." Like she loves Chinese. Like that's literally how she's like when we're like, "Okay, we're gonna get Chinese." She goes, "Chinese." I didn't make that up. That's literally me just doing my daughter's voice.
Exactly.
But then she got to the deli and she's just like, "Dad, I want a sandwich." Like, it's okay. Well, I got you. So prosciutto with mozzarella, and she ate half of it there. Again, she's 5 years old, and it's like a normal. It's like this is a sandwich that would fill a grown man in New York, right? Like it's on a roll, but still, it's a thick cut of meat. All right, this is not a they've burrowed out the white bread on top of the roll to make more room for meat. This is the way we do things.
It sounds amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. I'm going to die probably 20 years before you do because of all the salt. But you know what? I'm going to die happy. And so she's chowing down on this thing and she's eating half. And I'm like, okay, can I eat the other half? And she's like, no, I'm going to eat it. And she didn't eat it all at once, but throughout the day, she was basically picking away at that sandwich until by the very end, it was gone. And she had polished it off. But she was like already like game planning. She's just like, Dad, later when I'm hungry and I'm crying and I'm screaming and it's the afternoon, give me that sandwich. I'm like, all right, so you're already planning for your hangry episode. That's a real good emotional maturity. All right, let's good to go. But it was fun. My kids had my students got a big kick out of my children because my children look like me, and they act like me. Oh, and neat. So my son is like asking questions of me as I'm teaching like a high school lesson on like conservation of energy, and like asking like good questions, and like my students are like, "Is he smarter than us?" I'm like, guys, I hate to, I don't want to clip anybody's wings here, but yeah, he is. I know, but and my daughter's so cute. Like, you know, my daughter was just getting stopped all over the place because she's pretty but like mommy, but she's blonde like I used to be when I was younger. So she looks like a funny mix. So that was cool. That was a fun experience. My most delinquent class, like right at the end of the day, like they never want to spend time in class. They take 25 minutes to go to the bathroom. I won't see them. I'll see them throughout the day, and then I won't see them for my class. And then immediately afterwards, I will see them sitting in the cafeteria. It's like, all right, I know what happened here. Got it. Thanks, guys. Love you too. They were so like excited and like gave my son a standing ovation for like addressing them with like, you know, purpose and like being like, all right. And then after that, we're going to play some Beyblades because that also has to do with conservation of energy. And they're like, yeah.
Hey, Schmoopy knows what's up.
Beyblades?
Yeah, and they were also excited about the Beyblading part. We've been big into Beyblades recently. So that was fun. That was fun. That was cool. And that was a fun and cool experience. And the best part was 8th period. We have a planetarium in my high school. Cool. We did a little planetarium show. And not only did Schmoopy make me look good.
Planetarium, intergalactic.
Yes, something like that. No, you're good. Yeah, I had to get it out. It's better out than in.
Uh-huh.
Sheep, we have our bumper.
This is why people listen to this podcast. So, like, don't apologize for that.
We have our bumper. There you go. So Shuby made me look good because like he could just rattle off the planets in the order that they come in the solar system, which I guess was not expected of my coworkers. They're like, "Look at this kid over here." I'm like, a couple children's books. He's retained it all. You can only do so much. And that's not the song lyric, you pleb. Sorry, Millsy was not entertained. Unlucky. All right.
It's because it's planetary, not planetarium. It doesn't need to be correct.
Not with that attitude. Anyway, so I got to take a little nap because I always fall asleep in the planetarium. Do we have meetings and stuff in there? Like, what do they expect me to do? Not fall asleep? My brother in Christ, the chair is reclined and extra padded. All right, don't talk to me about important budget matters if I'm literally horizontal. It's just not going to go well. So anyway, I don't think I've ever spent time in that planetarium and not fallen asleep at some point, and I got about 10 minutes this time, which was pretty okay. It was that was
personal best.
Solid.
Personal best.
Yeah. And like he had an awesome time. Like he enjoyed the little movie they were playing, and he enjoyed like the different scales of like different stars and stuff. He was having a great time. So that was cool. That was a fun experience. And then also, I guess on the Hearthstone front, I guess I'll talk about Hearthstone. Now that I realize that my weeks are pretty jam-packed, I think I hit Legend on Asia. I forget if this was last week or this week. I hit Legend on Asia with Boxcar DH. I made I had a crazy stream on Saturday where it was like, play THL at 9, do a token DH, token questline DH guide with Filterphobe, and then when that was done, go try to hit Legend on Asia with token DH. And I did all those things. It was a great stream. I got 3 videos out of like
that's awesome.
One little stream. That was cool. That was really fun. Because we were playing the token DH. I think it's the best deck in Wild right now, but it's incredibly hard. But it is incredibly rewarding. But the turns are like nuts. The turns are like, man, things are coming out in funny orders, and you have to kind of like sequence very specifically so that you don't overdraw, but also, you're going to get a questline reward that's going to pop in, that's going to randomly get you. There are times that you turn down drawing cards because it's going to lead to hand size nightmares later. And so you have to sort of navigate those pitfalls while also trading into the opponent's minions, while also dropping 0 mana 6/7 brutes, stop it, while also dropping remnants of rage that are going to fill your cards with more hands that stop it, okay, while also playing 0 mana burns. So like you might do all kinds of actions by turn 5, and the really funny part about it is, cut it out. The really funny part about it is that, Hostage Mage or like other decks that play Ceaseless Expanse, when they play against Token DH, it's like 0.
They played on turn 3.
0. Yeah, it's playable like turn 6. So like immediately after they drop like in this entire board and mana burn, sometimes it's just like 0 mana 10/10, everything's gone. Like, nice job. All right, yeah, like you got me, not. So that's been that was kind of cool. Like I did that. We've been playing Pyramid Head's 50th edition of Wild Unusual Decks. He went for 50 decks for his 50th Reddit post.
Whoa.
And I celebrated this by doing kind of like a hyper survivor of like, we're going to play every deck. We're going to give people the option to sign up to be a part of the competition. We're going to make it a survivor. So like 1 loss, it's done. It like not 2 losses, 1 loss, it's done. I got to get through these things. I'm up to 5 streams already. Some of them are really cool. Like, was not on my bingo card that I would be enjoying Mech Protoss Druid. Like, that's not a deck that was on my radar of being anywhere remotely playable. But you know what? Cheating out a carrier because you've got a funny spell and you've reduced it with a galvanizer, and it's like the perfect time to drop it against a discard warlock. Sign me up. I had this disgusting turn 1 pop off with the coin where I went like, I think it was holy cow, it was like galvanizer into, long story short, I had a bunch of zero. I dropped a galvanizer into, like, it was a turn 2 pop off. I coined galvanizer, and then I had the Protoss spell that reduces the Protoss thing by 1. I followed it up with like a bunch of like 0 mana 1/2 mechs, and then also one of those rushy boys that was like a 5/4 divine shield, and that traded into something. So I had a disgusting amount of power on turn 2, and it was like, this is a high roll, but like this is pretty freaking cool. So I don't know. There have been some goods. There've been some bads. Pyramid Head was like apologizing on Discord for the bads. He's like, I'm sorry I made some bad decks. I mean, I'll really like focus on like quality instead of quantity. I'm like, honestly, it's kind of like those like every flavor beans. You know, like sometimes you get a black one and you're like, all right, this could be licorice, or this could be tar. Right? And so like for every plus 100 armor warrior that wasn't playing either 2 or any copies of All You Can Frickin' Eat, okay, or a Sphere of Sapience, which may or may not have indicated that somebody never has played a game of plus 100 armor warrior in their freaking life. Okay, so for every moment like that, where I'm losing my stuffing, or the TikTok, like the battle at the end of time handlock that had 0 ways to proc the quest. Like you could complete the quest and you could jam your 5 mana 8/8, but there's no way to kill it. So I'm like, what's the point? What's amazing though is this then led to one of the greatest pieces of like streaming cinema that I've ever seen, because I did this against a Reno Druid, and the Reno Druid dropped Bob, and I think, oh, he's gonna freeze my board. Copied the quest reward and then played it. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, well, now I can kill my quest reward and mutually assure both of our destructions, except I have carry and you don't have anything once I make this trade. And it was probably one of, it's a good thing that we can't see names right now. It was probably one of the most brain dead plays I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible. I couldn't get over it. I'm like, Chad, is this real life? Is this happening right now? I'm actually going to make this play. It made the thumbnail of the anyway. We're having fun.
Yeah, it had to have.
It's like, you know, we have like Crew DH that was actually kind of okay. We've got like a Reno like Siffy Rainbow. God, what was the one that 6J used to play all the time? The Mozaki. It's got Mozaki in there. I tempoed a 5 mana 3/8. I'm like, I've always wanted to do this. We've always been using this kind of combo card. I just want to throw a freaking Mozaki out there. You're not gonna kill it. What are you gonna do with this thing? And they're like scrambling to try and murder Mozaki. I'm like, yeah, that thing's not easy to kill, is it? Yeah, that's what I thought. No, it's been a blast.
When it's 50 floors of frights, they're not all going to be winners. Like, let's be completely honest.
Oh God, no.
And that's okay. When you're going for quantity, they're not all going to be quality.
Yes, I agree. I think I went round 1, since it was like boom, 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 knocking everything out. I think I went like 21 and 29. So I got a win with 21 of the decks.
Nice.
Not bad. That's a better number than I expected.
Yeah.
I maintained my rank of like top 1,000 in Wild. I don't think I could climb much higher. I think I found my sweet zone, but like, you know, if you're telling me that for over the next like week or so, I was basically knocking on the door of 11x, playing, you know, 50 decks from Reddit essentially, and just eliminating them as I go. you could do a lot worse. You could do much, much worse. So that's been fun. That's been fun.
Sounds like fun.
And I think that's all that I want to talk about in Hearthstone terms. So let's get to our like news / discussion topic / big deal of what really happened this week.
Do we have to?
Welcome to the news. The news is actually pretty bad.
So we got, I think this is the first blog post from the game director directly.
Yeah, I think so.
Entitled "A Farewell to Twist and What Comes Next." And Hydra had a fantastic idea of how to read this, because I read this and I was in New Orleans whenever I learned about the news, but I wasn't in a position where I could like go behind the firewall and actually read the post and do all that kind of stuff, right? I was on vacation. Mm-hmm. It was fine. I didn't want to get grumpy on my vacation, and I'm glad I didn't. Because, man, as I read this, I just got grumpier and grumpier. And
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So one of the ways that I coped with this is I essentially annotated it with like my thoughts. And I did this in our show notes because I was like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about this anyway, right? And Hydra had the brilliant idea of doing a dramatic reenactment where Hydralisk plays the role of the creator, and then I just, fill in my part. Fair warning, this one is a little grumpy, and I'm sorry for that, but I already warned you. Like,
no.
I'm sorry that I'm going to. We'll get into the 5 stages of grief later.
Let's put it this way. I'll be the creator. It's like I'll be on stage at BlizzCon and Sheep's the heckler in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Well, a farewell to Twist and what comes next. Hello, Hearthstone community. I want to take a moment to talk to you about Twist.
Twist news for the first time in over a year? Surely you're canceling it, but let's hear what you've got to say.
And where Hearthstone is headed next.
Oh, I bet the where Hearthstone is headed next bit will be substantive. Eye roll emoji.
As a team, we've decided that in patch 35.4, we will be removing Twist from Hearthstone.
Rest in peace.
From the very beginning, Twist was meant to be a space for bold ideas and creative risks. While it led to some memorable moments,
sure did. Yeah.
It ultimately did not connect with you in the way that we hoped.
How would it have? It was closed more than it was available.
That's on us.
Because you never let us play it?
When Twist launched, our goal was to explore new formats and seasonal structures.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
The mode went through several versions.
I count 2.
You mean that's not more than 2?
No, it's parody, man.
From fast-changing seasons.
Like the mode was supposed to have?
To longer, more stable rule sets.
So, which one is this? Is this the Wonders XL, Wonderful Ungoro, the only repeated seasons? Because That's boring for deck building. Like, you didn't give us anything. Or Whizbang's Heroes, which eliminated deck building from the mode entirely.
Who needs it?
In the end, it became clear that adding another long-term ranked mode alongside our core formats would be too demanding and time-consuming. And that's not what we meant for the Hearthstone experience to be.
So what does this actually mean? Too demanding and time-consuming for the devs? Because, I mean, kind of fair. But also, why even start the mode if you don't want to devote any resources to it? It's a mode that intrinsically demands them. As a player, sure, there were some twists that I resonated with more than others, but I never thought it was demanding or time consuming. Like, having more options doesn't... that doesn't make any sense. What does this mean?
Well, we also acknowledge, and we want to acknowledge, that we did not communicate clearly or consistently about the future of Twist.
Well, this again. I'm glad that you're acknowledging that this is an issue. Again.
Well, regardless of where the mode eventually landed, you did deserve transparency sooner.
Agreed. No substantive mentions since the last season started February 4th, 2025, is a long time of no transparency. And you told us it was coming back.
You got me. We need to do a better job of communicating earlier and more clearly about decisions like these. And this is a lesson we are taking seriously moving forward.
Surely you'll actually learn it this time.
As we say goodbye to Twist, we want to recognize what it was. It was a place where we challenged assumptions, tried new structures, and pushed Hearthstone in unexpected directions. That chapter may have ended, but its impact will continue to shape what comes next.
So what I loved about Twist was playing in this sandbox that actually did these things. The mode itself succeeded. The way the mode was handled was a catastrophic failure by leadership, not development. The game mode was fun, but if you constantly turn it off and people don't even know when they can play it, how do you expect anyone to engage with the mode? They're not going to. They're not going to buy the pack. Of course it's going to be a monetary failure. If the people don't even know that they can play it, they're not going to spend money on it. Why?
Looking forward, we believe Hearthstone's boldest ideas and limited time experience fit best in places like Tavern Brawl.
So can we expect to see like past Twist seasons as new Tavern Brawls? That would be kind of cool, but like Tavern Brawl, dude, Tavern Brawl has been around for ages, and Tavern Brawl is fun, but Tavern Brawl isn't a competitive format.
We've already begun shifting in this direction, with multiple new Tavern Brawls released recently and more planned for this year.
Oh, yippee skippy. The thing that used to happen on the regular when Joe Mag was here, more than it has been recently. Yeah, cool. Give us a few more Tavern Brawls.
This space allows us to revisit favorites, introduce new rules, and explore ideas that shine in short formats, like new takes on the burn down, or decks built from cards across every class.
Look, if you actually do make some more tavern brawls on the cadence that they used to be in, that would be nice. But I'm not holding my breath. Like, why should I count on that actually happening now?
We are actively finalizing plans for new ways for you to play with your cards in Hearthstone.
Sure you will. Sure.
There is more to share. And when the time is right, we will talk about how these lessons are showing up in what comes next.
Oh, look! The what comes next part! It's not actually revealed at all. I'm shocked. I'm shocked! Oh, something new's coming.
As always, thank you for playing, for experimenting alongside us, and for holding us to a high standard. Tyler.
So,
Tyler's a Pokemon. He says his name at the end.
Tyler!
Tyler!
So, I would like to state, first and foremost, that, like, my issue with this statement is not that they are stopping developing the mode. It's that, you know, if this was decided a year ago, tell us. It's the feeling like deceived because the last one said that more were coming. And just tell us, like, if the mode is open sometimes, closed sometimes, it's going to be a long time before the next one. And, you know, yeah, it's been a year, but like, just tell us. And I'm glad that they finally did. And I'm glad that they acknowledged the communication failure, but like, develop it or don't. And I'm not throwing the devs under the bus for that. Let me be clear. The actual gameplay of Twist, this is why I'm upset. Because it's not like, oh yeah, this thing that was, you know, whatever. You know, yeah, sometimes a Twist wasn't something that I particularly enjoyed. The Popper, I didn't particularly care for Popper. It was bumping Yetis with like some special effects. Dragons were good. But that's okay. They tried something. And sometimes whenever you're experimenting with something, some things are going to resonate and some things aren't. That was one of the fun things of the mode for me, right? Like the beta seasons were some of my favorite. And they were so completely unbalanced. And I loved playing as and against the most powerful deck because I could kind of like choose a way to counter it, or, you know, everyone was playing it. Like, it was those experiences and taking those swings. I love to see that. But, you know, the meme with the Grim Reaper, and it's like, oh, this door. I mean, we saw that meme posted months ago, about Twist at this point with duels and mercenaries and classic. Here's the thing. I am A-okay with them trying things out, and it, you know, maybe they can't continue to support it long term. It's okay for them to try. you could at least play duels until it was shut down. You could at least play classic until it was shut down. We could go in and say goodbye to the mode. We don't get a swan song for Twist. Like it just feels like the whole thing is just kind of like, But this is one of the first and only times the director has written, so that much is nice, I guess.
Yeah.
But things are going to Tavern Brawl, and something's coming. You actively called it a farewell to Twist and what comes next. We're going to talk about Tavern Brawl, and something else is coming. Why say what comes next? You put it in the title. You put it in the title. Sorry, Schmoopy, you've been holding your hand up, and I'm just like, I'm just.
I don't have a lot to say. I'd honestly rather just hear you pop off, because like this is like, listen, I've always had a grudge against Twist to a certain extent, because we were promised the biggest year in Wild's history. We're promised a Wild exclusive set, and then famously it wasn't a Wild exclusive set. It was a Twist booster set that happened to also impact Wild, and impacted Wild negatively at the time, let's be completely honest. So like I've always had an axe to grind with Twist to a certain extent, though I've had like some fun moments in Twist. But like this statement just felt like, to me, it's like, imagine somebody has been a missing persons for 125 years. And the statement says, we now consider this person to be deceased. It's like, it was so weird
right?
that it took this long for them to be, oh yeah, it's coming back in less than a month. And it's like, it's not. You guys clearly killed it. What are we doing with this? This is weird. Like, it's like it was somebody's, and maybe this is what happened, because it was like, you know, the corporate world. And I'm going to let you go back to popping off, because this is a lot of fun. not your suffering, but more just like, yeah, go get him some more. But like, maybe it was a corporate thing where this was somebody's priority, and that somebody was no longer working on Hearthstone, or like doing the thing, or in the capacity, and it just gets dropped. And then like we see it all the time. I see it all the time in the public sector too, in education, where you get a certain principal or a certain AP who makes something their crusade, their educational crusade. Guys, in education, everything works. Like all the strategies, all the things that people do, like it all works. It all freaking works. But some people are like, no, this is our flavor of the day. This is like, because they have to justify them being in their position and the leadership that they're taking, so they can convince the bosses above them that they're doing their job. So like, it becomes, you adopt some sort of BS, and you have to do it for a couple of years. Like, oh, this is annoying. Like, you know, so and so, I bet they don't even look at these reports or whatever.
And like you said, it's not like it doesn't work, but.
It doesn't work, but then it shifts, and then all of a sudden, it's the last thing you care about ever again, right? It's no longer a priority. It's gone. And it's like, oh, remember when we were supposed to be doing that? Yeah, they haven't made a big deal about that in ages, right? And I've been teaching for almost 15 years now. I've seen this happen, like on like a every 3 years. It's like a new priority comes through the door. It's like, all right, well, this is what we're focusing on now, and we're like, oh, right? It's like annoying. And like that's almost feels like that's what happened with Twist, but nobody was sort of honest and upfront about it when it happened. And then it got more and more awkward. And it's like, and it got like weirder and weirder and weirder. And like, it's great they're saying something now, but it's like, dude, you could have broken up with us like months ago. You didn't have to leave us on the hook. All right, I'm going to let you go back, because like that's all I really had to say about the whole thing. Because again, I was, you know, pop off king.
So do you want to know what made me the most upset about this entire thing? I'm just gonna come right back into just like, this was the big thing. It's when he blamed us for not resonating with the mode. When were we even going to be able to play it? What packs, what expansions were going to be available for it. Like, you know, the doing a Wonders XL, Wonders plus Ungoro type block. Okay, I get that. Add something to it, because like having a dedicated card pool lets people know that they can dedicate resources into it. That part's good. But the whole conceit of the mode, the whole title of it is twist. It's not play with these expansions. The beta, for example, you could only play from those. Discover pool was only, there were no neutrals. Everything was radically different.
It's not just arena that gives you different expansions, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be more to it.
And, you know, it's okay for some of them to be, you know, the first time that Wonders came up, I was like, you know, okay. I'm glad that we at least know that this is what it is. I'd like for them to spice it up a little. And then they added the XL to it for you can have as many beyond 30 up to 40 as you wanted, and your health would always reflect that. That was pretty cool. Okay, like you're at least adding something to it, but it wasn't as game breaking. Then it became Whizbang's Heroes. I very much appreciated what they were trying to do with that one, and very clearly that one did not resonate with me. But I understood what they were trying to do with it. And I thought that one was successful. People seemed to be engaging with that a lot. But you know what? All of these things that I'm talking about that, you know, I remember us talking about, did most people even know that Twist was a mode that was active right then? Because it sure was closed for a long time. Did they even know they could go in and play it? How are they supposed to know? It wasn't a mode that was open for how long? Like, you're blaming us for not, as player bases, for not resonating with the mode, and blaming us for not supporting it when it wasn't available and consistently there for people to know that it was there. Like, this is something that we critiqued on this show. The unpredictability of it. Like, if it's every other month, at least you would know. Like, if it's every 3 months, whatever. You never knew when it was going to be. So I was engaged, obviously. We have a Hearthstone podcast. People who listen to us.
We had the devs on to highlight the new content.
I
was
played
inevitably
so
for
much.
Twist.
Yeah. I played so much of this, like through the Paladin. I hit rank 2, like, and it's not because I was just grinding, though I was just grinding because I was having so much fun. And to just say that people didn't resonate with it, whenever people saw, I got multiple like, hey, you know, good rank. Like, what's the thing around it? It doesn't look wild. Like, people like, hey, what is that? Oh, Twist. Oh, that mode's open. And it's like, this is actually the second month in a row it is open. And people just didn't know. And these are people who are playing and pretty engaged. So
there was also the issue when it was launched. Like, basically, to piggyback on top of your theme of it didn't resonate with people, but also while it was not resonating with people, it wasn't set up to resonate with people. Let's remember that when it was first launched, it was tied to your wild MMR at the time, which hilariously for me was 2x. But for someone like Martian
That
Boo,
was so funny. I got
That
10x
was
on it. You got
hilarious.
2x on it.
and I almost hit legend.
in that short month,
many beers. I had a few too many beers, and I didn't get there, but I almost did.
They gave you like 4 days, 3 days, or 2 days, something. It was
2
really
days,
short.
like 2.5 days.
It was two.
basically.
It was 2.5.
and you
days.
almost
no,
got there with 2 eggs. It was wild. Sorry,
did.
Twist.
I did. I got to D2, and then I started throwing horribly. But they attached it to your wild MMR at the time. So Martian Boo got the first ever rank 1 on Twist on NA, and it basically soft locked him out of the format, enjoying and streaming the format forever, because it being attached to his MMR meant a couple things. Number one, there was a big push, there's a big race by the community when it first launched to be like, okay, who's going to get the first rank 1 in Twist? And so you had standard streamers playing it, and you had wild streamers, and you had all sorts of people. But the wild people had this huge advantage that they didn't want, they didn't ask for, that shot them ahead of the line. And so by the time like people are actually hitting Legend and Twist, the standard streamers, the arena streamers, like the people, they're like, well, I mean, what's the point in pushing anymore? Like, the guy already got the thing, you already did the thing. So it's like this. And like Martian's queues now are like 15 minutes because he can't find anybody because he's he's blocked out. Like his MMR is too high. So really, from the off, it was set up so that you were going to have issues getting involved, and not for nothing too. A lot of the twists.
But before you talk about the twists, because I want to highlight that point, because you're talking about it from a wild perspective, right?
Right.
Think about from an organic growth perspective. Who are the bigger streamers? They're standard streamers. Would they maybe dip their toe into Twist? Maybe. I'm sure they're not lacking for dust, right? Like we play the game a lot, and you know how it is. But if they have a 2x and they're playing against like jank and not like, and they're used to playing high legend or whatever, then like they're going to get roll bored real quick. And so it shot the mode in the foot from an organic growth perspective as well, because the people who were more likely to actually spread it from that more organic growth perspective, the people who have that big following are set up to not want to even try. Like, what's the point? Because they have 2x. So I just wanted to kind of also look at it from a just overall perspective, because yes, from a wild perspective, it was also like, yeah, we had these 10x's and like we climbed. You didn't. I'm sorry for that, but like,
No, I did not.
Imagine your experience from
being a
someone who's trying to do
player,
it
right?
Yeah, from a standard player who's used to playing at that high legend, starting at 2x and doing that, and then if that chase is gone, and because of course the wild players are going to shoot way up, like we have 10 11x in in the new mode, there goes a potential like hype point for like people rushing for it. Like it just took so much out of it from so many perspectives. So yeah,
I think that as wild players, we often feel rejected or like not supported. And I think this backfired on the team. I think they were trying to throw us a bone, throw us like, we're doing something for the wild community. Look, you guys get like a jump ahead. This is your mode. This is the thing that you guys can do. You guys own this. And I think that was supposed to be a gift. It was supposed to be cool. But in the end, like you said, shot the whole mode in the foot by stunting the standard players by mistake. So I don't want to like say it was. I don't think there was ill intentions or anything like that by giving the wild players like the proper bonus stars. I think that was cool because we don't get a lot, right? As wild players, they don't give us a whole lot. So I think that was neat of them doing that. Like we get a leg up because this is our mode, right? But like you're saying, the masses watch standard streamers, so they don't get to see the high competitive stuff right away. Maybe they wanted people to hop in and watch, like Corvette play and stuff like that. Maybe they're trying to highlight, that guy or Raffle or something like that who's playing at the time.
Thinking Hydra, I don't know. I don't think it was.
I don't know that there was.
Like that. I think it was
I
just
think
like,
that they
this
were trying to at least do somewhat of a solid to the wild. Like, why would they make that decision? Like, I think there is somewhat of thinking involved in doing that for the wild players.
Here's kind of what
not
I'm
an
thinking
accident.
about that. You mentioned Schmoopydady mentioned the principal comes in, new vice principal comes in. They have their big initiative. This seemed like it was Matt London's thing, right? And I'm definitely not going to speak ill of the guy. Twist was great. The development of the actual product was great. He's not a marketer. Like, that's not his strong suit. Like, he tried to do some things, like we had him and Celestial on the show, the State of Wild, they reached out to them. It was very much kind of a wild centric approach, because that's kind of just what Matt thought that it would be, right? Which makes sense. Though you're playing Wild, you want to have these like fun, new, interesting experiences with your cards. You already have these cards. Here you go. But he's not in marketing. If you're taking this already smaller player base and trying to then break off a chunk of that's not the way to succeed. If you're trying to do that with a mode that people don't even know if it's going to be or when it is available, or what the twist that season is, like a pop-up at some point, the Blizzard launcher, something like if this is a whole new mode, like give it some kind of chance, right? But it seemed that, and we've said this before, that it seemed like it was kind of set up to fail. Like it seemed like it was kind of my perspective. No one's told me this from inside Blizzard or anything, but it seemed like this was Matt's thing that, I can't remember who it was that made Battlegrounds, like in their little, like, you get to work on a fun project over like a Christmas or over December or whatever, and, kind of pitch it. And it seemed like this was Matt's, and Battlegrounds was, I can't remember whose it was, and I feel really bad. Was it Mitchell's? I don't remember. I digress. But like, cool. You got that thing to actually be there, but like, you have to actually support it by something, right? Like, Battlegrounds has only really stuck around because so many people play it, and then they've like tried to find a way to monetize it afterwards. And it seemed like
free to play to the start, though, right? Like,
yeah,
that's not the way Twist started. Like,
no, it seemed like they kind of took that lesson and were like, okay, here's the monetization push. And then the only thing that kind of got funded was essentially the monetization push. Like, they talked to us about like the Caverns of Time packs and like the cards in that and some of the things that changed. And like, they were trying to sell a thing, right? Which I get. Like, if you want it to succeed, then you have to monetize it somehow. But that wasn't the way to do it.
Hearthstone's a company, and companies are made to make money.
But
we're now stuck with the Cavern of Time copies in our collections forever. And I will remind people with violence, because I will play two different types of Shadow Bombers in my
every
XL
single
Shadow
time.
Priest. And if you haven't noticed, that's what the entire community does now. I'm not saying I'm the first one to do it. I doubt I am. But I noticed somebody did it, and then I was like, well, I've got a gold one here, and I've got a gold one here. I'm playing my gold Shadow Bombers. And like, you see it all the time now, where it's like, just, we had to, for duels, it made sense to hold on to a copy of each, because there was a chance that the Cavern of Times buckets were better for your competition than whatever the other copy was. So you're like, well, I might want this copy instead of this copy. It was just, it's bananas. It's just bananas what we are left with. The other thing I was going to say is, which is along these lines, was like some of the twists that they did were not like collection friendly. So it wasn't going to be something where you were going to get a bunch of people from standard, oh, let's go over and give twist a try. It's like, yeah, you're basically appealing to a small slice of, just like you're saying, a small slice of wild players that are interested in a particular twist at a particular time. I actually did like that about the twists where they were like, hey, let's do heroes, let's do just like, you know, a random whatever.
Yeah.
Like that actually, that was free to play for everybody. So everybody could get involved with that.
The heroes cost 1 legendary per, so it's still cheaper, but you did have to own a legendary card. Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about that aspect. But like great ones.
They
like
tried to monetize it somehow.
Great ones like Cthulhu. That was free to play for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm saying that ironically because Cthulhu was so bad, they literally quadrupled its health and it still had a negative win rate. It's like working greaser, but in hero form. At what point does Cthulhu actually become a playable, chat? What health break point? Let's hear it in the comments on YouTube. At what health break point would the Cthulhu hero actually have been a meta player? We'll call him tier 3.
Tier 3? Okay, so I ran the numbers and it is 586.
Oh. That's not too good. You like that number, I've noticed.
Yeah.
So, Sheep, you said that you were in, what, stage 3? Anger, right?
Yeah. So there are 5 stages of grief. I'm just going to list them for us. Denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and acceptance. You remember me in stage 1, denial, like especially you two. Like there are a number of times when I'm like, I mean, I hope that's not what's gonna happen, but
yeah, I know. Very hopeful.
And then bargaining. As recently as a couple weeks ago, you know, the last time I was on the show, since I was out last week on vacation, I pitched a few different twists, if I recall correctly. Like, if it wasn't that one, it was the one before. Yeah. That sounds like bargaining to me. Like, oh, look, here's an option here. Here's an option there. There's so many twists that wouldn't be hard. Like, total bargaining. Stage 3 is anger. And I think that's the stage I'm in right meow.
You did type back to Tyler, so I would say, yeah, you're in stage 3 at the moment.
Yeah. After stage 3 of anger is depression. So I don't think I'm there yet. I think right now I'm just mad. And then acceptance. And I think that the depression and acceptance won't come too hard because when's the last time we got to play the mode?
Game mode's been missing for 300 years. Pronounced dead on Thursday.
Right. So the depression.
Falsified.
We've been missing it. We've been missing it. The last time we got to play it was last year, and that's because China came back. And guess what? Those weren't new twists.
Nope.
So
you're like, oopsie poopsie. China didn't get to play these.
It's been a while. And, you know, I don't mind them trying things and those things, you know, failing. Sometimes they fail. But the where was it? You is what I searched, because that oh, where was it? It ultimately did not connect with you. Like, no.
That sentence is so bad. I know that the next sentence is like, that's on us. But that sentence itself, isolated in a vacuum, is so bad. Like, we know it didn't connect or resonate with you. It's like, wait, hold up. And then there's the little like, well, that's on us. But
there was this big game mode, and there was the beta, and okay, taking a month or two off after the beta before launching it proper, still missed opportunity, but whatever. And then it's like, remember the first time it was gone, and we were like, wait,
why?
where did it go? And it's like, oh yeah, we mentioned it, and it was like, we had even read the article, like, and we didn't catch it because it was like just mentioned in part of an like a paragraph in one article, one place. So yeah,
sometimes
the communication was terrible.
It'll be off.
Yeah. So yeah, the communication was bad, mostly off. But if people don't even know when they can play it, and they don't even know when it is on, it's not that it didn't connect with us. It's that you the direction, the leadership actively made the bad choices that got us there. It sounded like they had a year or two's worth of twists lined up, ready to go. Like, it sounded like, they had stuff ready to just push out. And then whenever it was like, oh no, we had like two or three, it was like, wait, what? Huh? And we didn't even know when we were going to be able to play it. Like, yes, it's our fault. Oh yes, the mode failed. Like, everything about it, about the leadership decisions. And Matt tried. Matt did a good job in my perspective, of the development of the mode. Again, it was fun. But there's a reason why he did one thing, why he had one role and he wasn't doing everything. You have to have the monetization people actually look at it and see if that'll actually work. Like, if it's a leader's role to look at something and go, yeah, I like that, but we need to have some backed up so that we actually have a player base there. Because people don't like the issue that we keep on coming back to about even knowing the mode is available to play. It's just the entire thing, except for the actual gameplay. I love them trying things out. I loved trying out mercenaries. I loved trying out duels.
Trying out, you exhausted mercenaries.
Oh, yeah, I did. But they handled this one so bad, man, that when the next one comes up, it's like, man, am I even going to try at this point? Like, Wild's fun. Will I try? Yeah. But am I going to be evangelizing it? I don't know. Am I going to say, yeah, it's fun,
investing money in it?
Yeah, I don't know.
We know it's hard to say, right? Like, I don't know, man. So you said you're in the anger stage 3. I'm gonna fast forward. So I wasn't as passionate about this mode as you were. I was actually annoyed in the beginning that they were getting rid of my classic, and
yeah, that's right.
something instead, right? Because I understand how classic can become boring pretty quickly, right? They're like, you want it, here it is, here's classic. You'll get sick of it. No, because people got sick of it right away. Like how it's not an everlasting mode. Like you could call it everlasting because it's classic, but yeah, the meta is solved. Big deal. You could try to win with priest. You could try to get legend with priest, but you won't, right? Because it has forever like a 40% win rate. But yeah, so I was a little sad the classic went away, but I get it. And then twist came, and I thought it was like super cool. But the fact that, just to rewind a little bit for my side of feels, is that when the mode disappeared and they stopped doing it, sheep was the only reminder in my head about like, where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be? Like I was like, oh, it's gone, and like I forgot about it.
Sitting
Like
there in the client.
It's just
without anything
just sitting there.
happening to it.
And the only
Always
other
less than a month
reminder
away.
is when it would show someone's like weird random legend rank like in your friends list.
Rank number 2.
Yeah, just sitting there all the time. But like I didn't really think about it much, and it took so long for them to just put that final shovel of dirt on it and call it a day, that when they did it, I was like, oh yeah, well, it's about time. Like, hell, it's about time. Like, why did it take you so long to do this? And Schmoopydady, you said it was like trying to break up with a girlfriend and it becomes more awkward and awkward. I was thinking, I had a similar analogy of like, say you got this friend named Jeff, and like Jeff texted you, but you don't really like Jeff, right? And so Jeff's like, hey buddy, like how is work today? And then you're just like, I'll text Jeff tomorrow. Like I'm gonna hang out with my wife and just ignore Jeff. And then the next day you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to text Jeff, whatever, I'll do it on the weekend, right? And then now like 3 weeks go by and you haven't texted Jeff yet. And Jeff just types like question mark, and then you ignore the question mark because now it's so weird. Like you have to pretend that you didn't see the original question or the question mark, and you're like,
got the notification.
You've reminded me that I need to reach out to my friend named Jeff, because I do have a friend named Jeff. I don't leave him on red, but it's been a while,
No.
and we're not talking about that Jeff. So
go on your phone and make Jeff's last name Twist. He's Jeff Twist from now on. So it's like a week and a half. It's 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks. And you're like, oh man, I really need to say something to Jeff because I'm an a-hole. Like if I don't, and then eventually it's been like 6 months. It's been a year. You have not said anything to Jeff. And then you're in the mall and you run into Jeff's mom. And she's like, hey, Sheep. Hey, Schmoopy. Jeff's been like wondering where you are. It'd be really nice if you could reach out. And you're like, hold on. Let me reach out to Tyler. I'll get him to message Jeff. So Tyler wrote Jeff a letter that basically says, F Jeff. I would also like to throw in there that I think the funny part is, so like, how they're talking about tavern brawls and stuff. There's the part where he states, we're going to introduce new rules and explore new ideas and that shine in the format, like new takes on the burn down. And I'm like, because I watched Boogerworm's video on this, and he's like, the burn down? What is the burn down? I play this game for a living and I don't know what the burn down is. Should I not know this? And it's like, no, Boogerworm, you shouldn't know what the burn down is. That is a tavern brawl from like 7 years ago. Like,
yeah.
Why would you know what that is?
See, I assumed that he was talking about a tavern brawl that was about to come out. I didn't realize that he was talking about one from the past.
It's from like the Fire Festival or something. It's the one where,
my gosh.
Like, it's like from when the Fire Festival first started, when you lose it. So it's like a pre-built deck. You don't pick your class. You just go in And then if you lose, you get to adopt the person that beat you's deck, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so you get to take that deck over, and then you play. And every time correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but I believe when you enter the game, it shows you how many times your opponent has won with the deck.
Uh-huh.
And so you can see that stat, like they've won like 10 times in a row with this deck. And you can see it. And so
yeah, there was like some kind of table. I remember that, but vaguely because it was years ago.
But like, why does Tyler, and he's probably told by people beneath him, think that that's going to resonate with people? Like, yeah, we're going to work on the burn down and like do new takes on the burn. No one knows what that is. Like, literally,
I knew what that
2019.
Yeah, you explained it, and I knew what it was, but I didn't connect that with the burn down whatsoever until then.
It
Yeah,
literally happened like a couple times. It was like 2019,
Yeah.
2020, maybe one time in 2020. I'm not sure. I tried to see how many times it happened, and it's like 2 or 3 times at tops, and it hasn't been around for like 5 years. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember it happening forever. I remember it being cool, but like you can't just say we're working on the burn down. And there's someone who streams the game for a living, like Boogerworm, who's like, what is that like a signature card? Is that a new mode? Like what? Like I have no idea. And why would he? Right? Like you would have no idea what it was, because he's only been streaming the game for like a year and a half, 2 years at the most. I can't remember when he said he only started like sometime last year or whatever, right? Like why would you know what that is? I guarantee you most people don't know what that is.
but he's been streaming it enough to start doing it for a career. Like
and not know what
exactly.
The creator of the game, director or whatever his title is talking about. Like it's so funny that this guy thinks that everyone's gonna know what that means.
And saying,
like, I don't
hey,
think anyone knows what that means.
we're gonna put those resources into Tavern Brawl.
I know that also was like, you mean that thing where trust me, I love the free pack, but like I love it enough to only play it when I remember to play it. Like I don't love it enough to play it every week.
Right.
I forget about it all the time.
Yeah. And when a fun one comes out, and people tell me about it, I play, and it's typically fun. But it's around for a week, and it's not something that I can like really tinker around with too much. Like that's one of the things that I liked about Twist. Like and it's inherently different, right? Like what are the stakes in a Tavern Brawl? The first one, if you win it, or until you win your first one, it's a pack, and then after that, there are no stakes.
Who cares?
And that's fine, but like having a competitive
like your
mode,
weekly quest,
right? True. Well, but that one is even just play, isn't it? Or is it win again? I don't remember.
I think it's win. It's win 5.
Okay, so those are the stakes, right? It's not. There's a ranked system, and people are playing all sorts of different decks, and there's a deck refinement because there's a ladder. There's some kind of a competitive draw to that, like people wanting to make their deck better, to have some small advantage to beat their opponents, right? Like it's vastly different saying, oh yeah, you can go over to Tavern Brawl. Feels pretty insulting. And it's good that they're putting some more resources into Tavern Brawl, because I've had a lot of fun with some of those, but like, man, when Joe Mag was here, they were putting out like banger after banger, and it's great that he was so great at that, but like one dude was doing that, saying like, oh, hey, this whole game mode, we're just going to give you a few more tavern brawls. And we're actively finalizing new ways for you to play with your cards in Hearthstone. We'll share when the time is right. It's like, okay, you waited a year. We didn't get a new twist. You're not even gonna like give us any sort of teaser except for when the time is right. It's not even going to be like anything. So it's not even going to be like you'll still be able to use Caverns of Time or this or that it's just, we're still working on ways. It's like, man,
it could have been like,
I don't even care anymore.
Do you want the good news? Do you want the good news or do you want the bad news first? And you're like, oh, give me the bad news first, and then we'll get the good news. And it's like, okay, well, just kidding. There's only bad news. There was actually no good news at the end. We'll put more resources into Tavern Brawl. Whoop-de-doo.
Right. And again, it's not that I don't like Tavern Brawl. I like Tavern Brawl, but like,
I mean,
you're taking away a game mode and you're giving us a few more Tavern Brawls a year. Come on, dude.
You're taking away my game boards.
Yeah,
you gave me one per year,
and the game mode that was
$158 pet, which is cute, but still.
You're right.
Oh man, I could go down to like a whole rabbit hole here. Somebody stop me.
Year is 2035. After a lot of reflection from Blizzard and community discussion, they finally decided to remove Standard as the last game mode. Now, only the tutorial and the collection screen remain. But don't worry, this has been a learning experience, and big things are coming.
Wiser words.
That was a great pasta. That was a great pasta, though.
That's a good pasta. That's a good pasta.
Anyways, I feel like we could literally go on for like hours about Twist. It's just, I think that it's just a shame that they took forever to finally like final nail in the coffin. You could have told us forever ago. I don't know. Maybe it got lost in the shuffle. Maybe they like were diverting resources. We know how many layoffs have been happening at Blizzard Entertainment, and like they just ignored Jeff for way too long. Like I don't know, but they finally decided to break up with Jeff. So rip Jeff.
What gets me, what really, really gets me though is like, you know, Classic didn't have the, you know, much communication, but that's the nature of Classic. It was there. People could still play it. Bots could still farm the hell out of it. But, you know, that aside, mercenaries, we continued getting new mercs until like after they made the announcement, right? Like that they made the like, okay, this is the last one kind of a thing, right? Duels, we could still play duels runs until whenever. This, is it there again? Is it not? And then it just not being there for a year. Yeah, the text Jeff thing, like that's part of it, but we don't even really get to say goodbye to it. Like that's what pisses me off too. Like,
yeah, it's like it's like when you have friends, right? Like, so you're in a relationship and all your friends and your family, they liked Jeff, right? They all liked Jeff, and they didn't get to say goodbye. They didn't have a choice in the decision.
But
just
they could have texted Jeff at any point.
And we can't anymore. No, Jeff's phone number is gone. They've destroyed Jeff's phone number. They've deported Jeff. Like we can no longer talk to Jeff.
Like that's where the analogy really breaks down, is like, man, it I feel like one of those like video game archivist, like advocist people, like who are trying to pass into laws places that like if you essentially shut down a service in a video game, that it has to be hosted somewhere for people to play, like for the actual availability of it. Like you sold a product, but also how are people in the future going to know? Like, what if WoW goes down tomorrow, right? Like, how would anyone ever play WoW? Like, they can't because everything was on servers. So I digress. Yeah, it would. I got to say goodbye to duels, and I wasn't a big duels player, right? Like, it would have been cool to have some sort of kind of like maintenance server like slotted in somewhere. But at least with the duels, at least with the classic, at least with all those, we knew it was gone, and we could, the last month of classic, I dipped my toe back in. Like I didn't hit legend again, but like I played a little bit again because it was, wanted to say goodbye. Same with duels, same with Mercs. Like, Mercs is still at least in the client, but still, like, I feel like we were robbed of that too,
Yeah. Not wrong.
Unrelated Advice with Electric Sheep City.
That's you.
That
Sheep.
is me.
Sheep.
Schmoopydady.
We've done a lot of twisting and shouting. I'm sure somebody at some point is going to ask you about your favorite twist, but I don't actually care about that. What I care about right now is I want to know, what is your favorite twist-related song and or cover that includes the word twist in it? We've got Twist and Shout, which is covered by several artists. We have, including some modern ones, more recently, who have turned it into a hit on their charts. We have Do the Twist.
Come on,
baby.
As well as Do the Twist Again by the same artist. It was like Chubby.
There's also that Korn song, Twist, Twist.
Oh, that's right.
Twist.
Yeah.
I was unaware of this one. This is more twist related. So anyway, what is your favorite twist related song, cover? Have at me.
Well, the real answer is boring, but the real answer is Twist and Shout as performed by the Beatles. That's just my favorite
answer,
right? But right now, I'm feeling like I resonate with Another Twist of the Knife.
Ooh. I get that.
Was the words have never been spoken. You heard that on
Born to be wild.
Another Twist of the Knife. I think I may have butchered the song title, but you get what I was going for.
I thought Hydra was going to be like Twisted Sister or something. I don't know. It seems like a Hydra thing. I don't know. I listen. Did you make a face?
Sister.
I don't know. I don't never listened to them before. I've just only heard of the band.
Are you kidding me?
You've never listened to Twisted Sister?
Did you even know what they look like? They're not. Oh my god, they look like Mimi from the Drew Carey show. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.